All right, Hunter, my man, welcome back.
It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
Yeah, and it's good for us to have you back. And there is a lot, and I mean a lot to talk about. I mean, the last time we were talking to you, you were having a little run with Tupelo. You were preparing to go to Ole Miss, but now you sit here as a national champion. Has that feeling wore off yet? Or are you still on cloud nine?
I don't think it's ever gonna wear off. Hopefully it's just stays with me forever. But so for now, no, it hasn't worn off. We've kind of gotten into the moving on to next year, but no, the feeling hasn't worn off, and hopefully it never does.
Well, I always say this, and these guys can attest to this. You are the champion until somebody beats you. So
That's right.
you can have that feeling until you guys are no longer in it.
That's
Um,
right.
but let's go back. All right. Now you get to Ole Miss, and there's a lot of comparisons being made to you and Doug Nikhazy. Is there any pressure coming in to being compared to a guy like Ole Miss Doug?
I didn't see it really as pressure. I thought it was cool. I didn't ever really think much about it. I watched him when I was in high school and knew he was an incredible pitcher and everything like that. But I mean, obviously, given the number 26 with long hair, left-handed pitcher, I kind of knew the day that I walked in there and saw that they gave me number 26. I was like, oh, here we go. Here come the Doug comparison. So I just kind of just handled it and just kind of viewed it as a good thing and that people wanted to compare me to a pitcher like him.
Yeah, it's got to be, a good feeling to know like you're being compared to a guy of that stature
Yeah,
on that team, but also, you're your own guy, man. You're
that's
making your
right.
own wave, so it's good to see how things worked out, but as you guys get into the fall and start really the prep work for this national championship run, we got to talk the Omaha Challenge. We got to talk the Pizza Bowl. Starting with the Omaha Challenge, who drafted you?
So Brandon Johnson, I think I was a second round pick after the snake had gone through one time and came back around to him. Second or third round pick.
Unacceptable. You got to be a
So
first round pick. They don't know
yeah,
better.
yeah. I don't know. I don't know what their deal was. They just, I mean, I ended up finishing, I think, 11th. So definitely better than third round. So he drafted me. He was a great captain.
Did your team end up winning?
Absolutely not. So we were actually pretty good. We were like more of the bulky team, the team that won. We won the tug of war. We won the ones like that. But man, the challenge course and the running just crushed our team standings.
So outside of the win or loss as the team, like personally, how did you do? Or do you have some work to do this year?
Yeah, no doubt have work to do this year. Got some redemption. I think entering the last day, I was either ninth or 10th, which I was like, okay, may grab a top 10 here. And then the challenge course, man, that's something I'd never been through before. It was something else. So I think it dropped me right outside the top 10. So this year, definitely going for like a top five finish is what I'm saying. We've
Nice.
got some absolute specimens on the team, like Calvin Harris and Mason Nichols, that are going to be really tough to beat.
So, when you're looking back on it, what was your favorite event and what was your least favorite event? Was the obstacle course the most difficult?
Yeah, there were some difficult ones. There was the obstacle course. We had this like we ran across the field, and I don't even know what we did with this med ball. Like raced across the field with med ball, and on the way back we had to like drop down and do like I don't even know what it was, but that one everybody was just crushed after that one. Surprisingly, the swimming one, that one I think we swam like 100 meters and we all couldn't breathe after. So Ole Miss baseball is not a super big swim team, uh, but I would say probably I really enjoyed the team events. Like I said, the tug of war. We did like some tire flips for like I don't know. It felt like forever, 200 yards or something like that. Just the team ones I thought were really cool.
So what we just learned, this is breaking news. Ole Miss baseball is not very buoyant. Not at
No,
all.
absolutely not. No, I think we had a couple guys that were like holding on to the ropes and just
Could you
trying to
spell
survive for dear
buoyant?
life. Me?
No, not you. The principal.
Okay, good.
Could I spell buoyant? I think so. Bouyant. Buoyant.
Use
Is that
it in a
right?
sentence. Yeah, use it in a sentence and don't say Ole Miss.
Hey
Oh,
man,
man.
why are you gonna call my man out? He sounded so educated, and you just
I
gonna do
know.
that.
I had to throw some shade to get us back on track.
Hey,
There you
man.
go. There
Hey,
you go.
it's not about buoyancy, but it is about challenges, and obviously that was one of the ones that stuck with you. But
Yeah.
moving into the Pizza Bowl, did you find yourself on the winning side this time?
Absolutely. Yeah. I try not to find myself on the losing side of many games.
Did you enjoy the pizza while your teammates ran? That's got to be a satisfying feeling, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It's some of the best tasting pizza I've ever had.
So was there any bad blood or any sting, or while your teammates sat there and ate,
No, I don't think so. We just,
you guys are good with it?
yeah, I mean, it's just going into the game, you're either going to be eating pizza that night or you're going to be running around the field while we eat pizza until we think you're good.
And shout out Hayden Leatherwood because he brought Jackson half a pizza over there while they were over there divvying it out. So
Yeah, there you go.
So, obviously in the fall, Jim was out doing his thing. He had season tickets for you guys, but he wanted to get out and do some fall scouting. And, he kept reporting back, Hunter Elliott looks good. Hunter Elliott looks real good. Hunter Elliott looks great. Did you feel as though you were looking good, or you were looking great, or you were having a lot of confidence as the fall progressed?
I felt like I had a solid fall. I felt like it was definitely not one of like something just crazy eye popping. I think I had a solid ERA, stuff like that. But I was just coming out of the fall. I was like, man, I really thought I could have done more. But no, yeah, I thought that I put myself in a good spot to get some innings and to get opportunities, which you need as a freshman to show what you can do in games and then just eventually prove who you are. So I felt like I had a solid fall, just not a dominant fall, but that's good that some people thought so.
hey, I'll say this, since Daniel can say buoyant and sound educated, I went as far as to tell both these cats that you would be a weekend starter before it's all said and done. And I mean, hey, we know what's going to come when we talk about it.
That's right. That's right. That's always the goal.
I'm not gonna let you disrespect me on this thing now. Like I ain't sounding educated, dude. I am educated. So let's
as long as you give me my flowers back that I said that about Hunter, we good.
I pretty sure I did. I gave you all the credit, man. I mean, you're the one who said
No,
you wanted-
Hunter gets the credit. He did it. He's the one that's got to make me look good.
So obviously, you set yourself up in a position to get some innings in the spring, and you did start the season with some action. You were coming out of the bullpen the first 2 weekends against Charleston Southern and Virginia Commonwealth. You had success. What were the nerves like getting the toe to rubber for the first time in front of the Ole Miss faithful? And do you feel like you were ready? Do you feel like you were a bullpen guy, or did you feel like you needed to be that main guy?
No, I felt like, I mean, obviously the nerves were crazy that first, what was it, Charleston Southern, that first Charleston Southern outing. I think we were up like a few runs on a Sunday, and I was like, dude, this feels like the ninth inning of the College World Series. You just have the butterflies and the jitters. So that was awesome. But I mean, we had some guys that had really good falls and some guys that had really good springs and had worked their way into the starting rotation to start the year. So I was one that just, when I got the ball in my hand, I wanted to pitch well and perform well and wanted us to win. So I didn't care that I was in the bullpen. Obviously, your goal is always going to be to be the Friday night starter, to be the ace, no matter if you're a freshman or a senior. That's what you want to be. So obviously my goals were to be that, but I kind of just took it with how it was, and I was a bullpen arm at that time and wanted to pitch well.
Well, it seems like coaches took a notice to it because they saw the success because you did end up getting a first start. You got a win against ULM in a midweek game. You had 9 strikeouts in 4 innings.
Right.
What was it like knowing that you were going to start that game, and what was it like, after, you know, I can imagine you were just like complete exhaustion. You went, 4 innings, but I bet it felt like it was a lot more.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, leading up to it, obviously I was pumped for my first start at Ole Miss. So that was super exciting. And then to perform well was obviously just icing on the cake and what I expected to do and what I wanted to do. So that was nice. And it was good that the coaches kind of showed early that they had confidence in me and the belief that I was good enough.
Yeah, so as the season progressed, obviously, with baseball, there are going to be bumps in the roads, but you definitely had mostly a ton of success. But at what point in the season, or was there a particular moment where you knew you were going to get into that weekend rotation?
Man, that's tricky. We had, as everyone knows, Tennessee kind of came into Swayze and just absolutely owned us. It was
Did they?
embarrassing Sunday after that game. So, and the whole pitching staff pitched terrible. I think literally, I don't know if anyone pitched good. Maybe a couple people pitched good on the Sunday game, but I don't even know if it was ever talked about again. So we had like a little meeting and that we might switch up the starters. So I was like, man, maybe I get a start this next weekend. I think Kentucky was the next weekend. And then so DeLucia started the Friday night game, and then that Friday night, Coach B told me that I was starting the Saturday game. That was the first time that I knew. So uh, I kind of had a glimpse of it there, and then I pitched well. I went the next week and pitched poorly and was kind of out of the rotation. So it wasn't ever. This season was kind of weird. It wasn't ever like a exact time where I was like, dude, I've got a solidified spot in the rotation. It was up for grabs there for a while until kind of the end of the year and the postseason.
You brought up the Tennessee series. I'm going to tell you, Randy did not let Dylan DeLucia off the hook for his comments. He was ready for it, and so we had him on there because
There you go.
I don't know if you remember what he said, but he said they overlooked.
Yeah, no doubt.
And you can't say stuff like that.
We gave him crap forever. He was saying that we overlooked him, and he had given up like 4 home runs in 4 innings, and we're like, how did we overlook?
The best part was that the next day, when they tried to interview him, he said, "I can't. I'm sorry."
Yeah. We were like, man, why would you say that? Why would you say that we just got beat 10-0 on Friday night at home? Why would you say that we overlooked him? But you got to know DeLucia to know that, man, that's just how he was.
Yeah, no doubt. And then obviously, he backed it up there after, and we got to talking about it. But for you, I felt like when you look at your turning point in the season, because Daniel talked about the bumps in the road, you talked about it. Even though it didn't result in a win, it was first starting with that Mississippi State series. And I want to ask you about that start, because you're a kid from the state of Mississippi, understands the bragging rights that come from that series. It's at Swayze. The atmosphere is electric because I was there. Just talk about what it is, especially being someone from Mississippi, just that pride, and especially for Ole Miss going into pitching that start.
Yeah, that was huge. That was one of the coolest starts of my year, obviously, other than Omaha and some postseason starts. But I think I got told earlier in the week that I was starting, and I was like, yes, because I think the week before I'd actually not pitched at all. So it was like the South Carolina weekend. I was out of the rotation, and I didn't even pitch in relief or anything. So went all the way to South Carolina, didn't pitch an inning, and I was like, dang, all right. And then Coach B told me early in the week, like, hey, you're starting Saturday against Mississippi State. And I was like, okay, here we go. So I was super pumped, and I was like, yeah, super excited. And then, of course, Dylan went out and threw 9 innings on Friday, and I was like, okay, here we go. We can grab the series. And then obviously everyone knows how that went. We just couldn't pull it out.
Yeah, no doubt. I was with the Mississippi State dads, and they were just like, we got to get this guy off the rubber, and they couldn't get Dylan off to save their life. He wasn't coming out. But I mean, you fared well. Let's not act like you got beat up on. You just didn't get the W in the column. But that clearly is when you became the regular weekend starter, and your next start. And I got to ask you, because it's Arkansas. Would you say that Baum Walker was the hardest place you had to pitch in this year?
Yeah, no doubt. That atmosphere was unreal. Supposedly, I heard that Alex Box was going to be pretty close to it. I think we kind of the rain outs, and then we came back the next day, and I think that kind of threw a wrench in that. So I wish it would have been the normal Alex Box Stadium as it usually is. But yeah, Baum Walker was insane. I mean, packed out 13,000 every game, even for the Sunday game. Another series that we just barely in that little stretch there that we could just not pull out the close games.
Yeah, I mean, but once again, just like the Mississippi State performance, not a terrible performance, just didn't get the W.
Yeah, right.
And you can tell you're starting to catch your groove, and I don't think it's a coincidence. Because if you look going after that series, not only do you find your groove, it's the same time the team finds the groove, and it all kind of coincides together. So your next two starts, you dominate versus Missouri. You have 7 innings, just 1 run allowed, 9 Ks, and then you go into Alex Box, like you said. I was there for it. Watch you put work in on my team, 6 2/3 with 9 Ks. So at that time the bats also get hot. So I know for a pitcher, you got to be feeling good when you got the run support. So just talk to me about how that all came together as a team, and for you, how everything started to come together. And then, like I said, the team as one, because like, Tim said, don't let the Revs get hot.
Yeah. So it was really during that stretch, the like Mississippi State, South Carolina, Arkansas, where we were losing all those 1-run games. We were all like, man, we know it's there. We know it's all just one swing away every single game, or one pitch away on the mound every single game. So the big thing was just sticking with it, and just knowing that, I mean, we were 6-7 pitches away from winning 4 or 5 more SEC games in that little stretch. So it's just everyone had super ultra confidence in everybody. The hitters had confidence in the pitchers had confidence that the hitters were going to put up runs. And I mean, it just, I don't know, just clicked, and we kind of went on a little run and never stopped.
And yeah, and since bringing up the LSU series against Alex Box, or at Alex Box, we had Eric Raiselman on here, and he gave y'all all the props in the world. He said, after that series, that he felt like y'all were the team that nobody would want to see in the postseason, and obviously it's going to play that way. And so, I mean, he just had the utmost respect, just talking about, after they play. He said, obviously you're a pitcher, but for your hitters, he said it didn't matter what he threw. Like y'all were teeing off, and it was like that for most of the LSU pitchers. And so y'all really got it going. But obviously y'all lose the SEC tournament game, so you still have to await your fate. We've seen the videos, we've talked to some of your teammates, but for you, man, being in that room, hearing Ole Miss get selected to be in Coral Gables, what's the feeling like?
Yeah, well, honestly, it's kind of like your guy at LSU said. We were all like, man, they better not let us in. Nobody wants to see us come to their regional. Nobody wants to see us come to their super regional. We were like, so it was just that whole morning. I think we had a team breakfast, and to watch the show and stuff, or something like that, a team lunch maybe. And then it wasn't the normal team lunch. Everybody was anxious, nervous, as expected. But man, once we got in, it was like we had been fighting this uphill battle ever since we were kind of dug ourselves in that hole, that everybody was 0-0. And we had such a weight lifted off our shoulders, and we could play free again.
Yeah, Dylan described it as playing with house money when he came on. Yeah. Here. And so
no doubt it is.
Y'all go down to Coral Gables, and you get the host team Miami. But before that, even happened, did you ever imagine yourself, especially going into the postseason, that you'd be waiting on a hurricane to dictate when you were going to play some baseball?
Yeah, that was the story of our season, though. Just crazy stuff, man. But yeah, that was unlike any other. We spent so much room in the freaking hotel that weekend. and it seemed like we barely played any baseball. But it was cool at the same time as scary a little bit.
Yeah, you go to Miami and you don't get to enjoy South Beach. You got to spend it in a
Right.
hotel trying to stay safe.
Avoiding a hurricane. Yeah.
So, y'all get the win, you turn in a solid performance. Like we said, this is a point in which, you've been cruising. But it's the next one that I really want to get into in Hattiesburg. You walked into Southern Miss House and you throw 7 1/3 innings, 3 hits, no walks, 10 strikeouts, and dominate them. And you outduel Tanner Hall, who, was, doing so well. So what was it like, talk to me about the success. I watched the game, like I said, man, it seemed like you had the full arsenal that day. You were able to pick your spots. Talk to me about the success of that game.
Yeah, like you said, it's one of those rare days where you have all your pitches and locating, commanding all of them, feeling solid with all of them. I knew coming into that game, I mean, Tanner Hall had just won the I forget what it's called, the winner of the best player in Mississippi, and that's saying something. So I knew outdueling him was going to be tough, and I knew that he was an incredibly good pitcher. So I had to bring my A game, and kind of in the bullpen when we have games like that, it's almost like you're like, man, I really feel solid today. Everything feels good. Everything's coming out of the hand good, and it's just happened that way. I guess it was a blessing for sure.
Yeah, no, on TV, it was a beautiful sight to see. I mean, like I said, and you said it, your location, you were able to just do whatever you wanted. And so,
right.
Y'all advanced to Omaha, and I texted you how surreal it was, throughout the season. I go watch you and Brady, throw the best high school game I'd ever seen.
Yeah.
And then I texted y'all when I had split screens, and it just so happened that, his game was ending when y'all's game was starting. So, him as a closer and you as a starter, y'all were pitching both at the same time on my split screens. And it's like, oh my God, these are the same two guys that I just watched in high school last year. And then here we are, y'all are both freshmen headed to Omaha. Like, I know this is about Ole Miss, but man, it's for a guy that that's your friend that you pitched against. How cool is it? Like, just the road, and that y'all both ended up at Omaha.
Yeah, super cool. And it just shows the talent in Mississippi, really the talent of Mississippi baseball. I think also Braden Montgomery was at Stanford, made it to Omaha too. So I think I faced him in the North Half that year. We went up against each other at MC, which was a battle. So it was cool to see it all come together. And we had like this little thing where we like all met up, all the teams met up and like played some cornhole and stuff like that at this park before the parade. And it was just cool to see guys like them from Mississippi, both freshmen, both played against last year, that we had all three made it to Omaha.
So speaking of Omaha, before we really get into that, I want to ask you about the veteran leadership that you had on that team. Yeah, well documented. Coming into the season, obviously it ends perfectly, right? But in the middle, maybe it didn't. So you got some guys on there that have been on, this show. But talk to me about what it was like. Obviously, very successful freshman, but you're a freshman on a team with the likes of Elko, Kevin Graham, Hayden Dunhurst, et cetera. So talk about just what that experience meant for you as a young player coming in.
Well, it taught me a lot for sure. I think that's one of the sole reasons why we were able to kind of grind out that little low point, or I don't know if it was a little low point. We were kind of down bad there for a little bit in the middle of the season. But just the leadership of guys like them, and even some that are never mentioned, like Max Chofie and guys like that. It's just the leadership of them just continually in the locker room saying, guys, it's not that far away. We're so close in every aspect. That definitely propelled us forward and allowed us to go on that little run, and then dominate in the postseason like we did. They were just such good leaders, and knew that just showing up to the field every day, doing the same thing over and over is going to get it done.
Yeah, absolutely. That consistent grind. So you get to Omaha and you don't have to play until the second day, right? So did that give you guys a chance to kind of get settled and see some things in Omaha first?
Yeah, Omaha is a cool little town. It was really cool. We actually went to, or a lot of us went to one of the first games. I can't remember what, I think it was Texas and like Notre Dame or something. And it was cool kind of just to see the atmosphere as a fan. and everything before you experienced it as a player. So I think that helped settle us in a little bit, and that was nice for sure.
Yeah, so no doubt. So your first performance and win come against Arkansas, a team that you had faced earlier in the season and kind of struggled with. How much did it kind of help you that you had seen that team, even though you struggled, had seen that lineup before? Did it help you get prepared for that game?
Yeah, I don't know how much. I didn't struggle a ton. I think I allowed a couple, or actually, I think I allowed a solo jack and a 2-run jack, three runs or so. So
You got to
I
talk
knew
to my
it.
producer about that struggled line. I don't know.
That's
Yeah.
hey, I said 3 on runs. I said a little
That's
struggle.
all right. No, yeah, that's all right. That is a little struggle. 2 home runs in the same game's not great, I would say. But yeah, I knew that they had touched me up a little bit. So I was gonna have to bring my A game again, obviously, just like you do against really everybody we play. So I also knew a little bit how I was gonna attack their hitters, kind of guys that I had success against, guys that touched me up a little and what I needed to do. Watched a little more video. Did some more preparing. So yeah, I think if I remember correctly, they touched me up a little early in that game too, before I settled in a little bit. And obviously I think the offense put up like 15 runs, so it's not too hard to pitch them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's it like pitching with that kind of lead? So,
Yeah,
but
it's not tough.
so Jim, he obviously a producer, professional as he is. He's there. He says Arkansas and Ole Miss had the most fans by far. So, talk about
Yeah.
how electric was that atmosphere?
Yeah, that was crazy. It was like a Baum Walker, but like half of it was like Arkansas, half or something like that. Half was Ole Miss, and it was like a 2 times Baum Walker. It was awesome. It was cool. I mean, they have a super passionate fan base, as we, and we hadn't made it in a while, so ours may have been a little more passionate. So it was just a cool atmosphere and just a part of.
No doubt. So you move on, you face in Oklahoma. And before we talk about your start, talk to me about the performance that you saw, obviously, from your teammates in DeLucia to close out Arkansas, and then obviously Jack Doherty in game 1 against Oklahoma.
Yeah, man, that pitching performance from DeLucia. Well, and really Connor Nolan on the other side, that was incredible too. I think he go 8 or maybe even 8 1/3 or something.
Yeah, he was really
So
good.
that was like a 2.5-hour game in Omaha, which was unheard of. So that was really cool, and just watching DeLucia do his thing that we'd all kind of gotten used to him doing was really cool. And then Jack had kind of started a little bit earlier in the season, and like a lot of us, had a rough patch in the middle. And like I said, we just had confidence. Everybody had confidence in the team. Everybody had confidence in whoever was going to go out there. So it really didn't surprise us or shock us as much as it probably did others that he went out there, and I think he was perfect through 5 or something like that. It was really cool to see, and gave you a lot of confidence going into my game.
No, absolutely. So we got to talk about a day that you got to like, man. June 26th, that's your start against Oklahoma. And a story was written in the Clarion Ledger about this date. The same day that you're facing Oklahoma to win a national championship was the 11-year anniversary when you threw a no-no and won a state title. I think it was 9U. So what is it about June 26th that you just like to win titles, man?
Yeah. Well, I like to win titles on any day, whatever day it comes. I'm good with winning titles then. But I guess that's a special day. Maybe the College World Series championship will be on June 26th next year. That would be cool.
No, absolutely. So let's get right to it at the Oklahoma. So there was a sacrifice bunt where I watched. It was crazy play. It appeared to bring in a run. Interference is called, getting the batter out. 1 pitch later, you get the 3rd out. Get out of the jam. Talk to me as a pitcher, or just even being there. How wild was that sequence?
Well, yeah, it's roller coaster of emotions, really. You're like, okay, field this bunt. I think even if I got him out at first, the run still would have scored. I think it was kind of like a sack squeeze or something like that. And of course, I throw it and hit him, and I'm like, wow, man, I really messed this one up. I think then it's like 2nd and 3rd, or supposed to be 2nd and 3rd. They're up 1-0. We're kind of in the middle of a pitcher's duel, and I was really in some trouble. So I was like, all right, I got to lock this back in and try and get us in the dugout with just 1. And then I see Coach B coming out of the dugout, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this makes a little bit of sense. I'm like, he's kind of close. I don't really know the rules or whatever of how close he can be. So he challenges it. We get it overturned, and then I'm like, all right, man, I really have got to lock this down here and get us back in there 0-0. So that it was just crazy roller coaster of emotions, but it was very fortunate that I guess I was fortunate that I threw it and hit him, maybe I would say. So, yeah.
Well, I mean, so just to dive a little bit deeper into that, what is it? So does Coach B, is he talking to you while they're challenging the replay? What's he saying to you if he is?
No, he's not talking to me. He goes out and tells them that he wants to review it or whatever, and just goes and sits back in the dugout. And I'm just me, and I think just all the infielders are standing there watching it on the big screen. We're like, yeah, maybe. We don't really know the rules, so we're like, maybe it is interference, maybe not.
Randy, you remember we're trying to message each other, trying to figure it out ourselves.
Yeah.
We're like, what are they going to call here?
It was wild because, I mean, we were obviously rooting for you, but I'll be honest with you. I watch a lot of baseball, as do all of us, right? I didn't know. I'm like, man, looks like a judgment call. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I was like, man, this could really go either way. So I was just kind of staying level-headed, expecting the worst, really.
Yeah, I was going to ask you kind of what your mindset is. He talked about it, right? You got to lock back in and get it. I mean, obviously, if after that challenge and you get the call that you want, if you don't lock back, it kind of, does that give you momentum? I mean, not that you're looking to get a call to make it go your way, but now you know, like, all right, I can't mess this up.
Right. Yeah. Well, it's, and just like in a lot of sports, just taking advantage of break or momentum. Just I had to go out there and get that out right there. I mean, if I allow double in the gap, it just kind of screws that, and we didn't really get a break.
No, absolutely. So you get through 6 innings unscathed, going toe to toe with Cade Horton, who a lot was talked about. So I first of all, I just want to know, I mean, how good is this guy?
Yeah, Cade Horton. Actually, I think I played with him at some little showcase in high school, and I was like, man, this dude's solid. So I don't know if y'all knew, he was committed to Ole Miss. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, it said my internet was unstable. So he was committed to Ole Miss, and then I think he's from Oklahoma. He wanted to play football at Oklahoma or something. So he decommitted and went to Oklahoma, which is fine. But I mean, he got drafted top 5, so that, or top 10. That shows how good the guy really was. I mean, his stuff, he really came on at the last month of the season, was really huge part of why Oklahoma was there. And he was just dominant, man. I think it was like 95, 97, 88 mile an hour slider that was just disgusting. He was really good.
Randy, who dropped the ball at ESPN? Because I listened to every bit of the game. Nobody ever mentioned that he was originally committed to Ole Miss.
I don't know, man. So you give up a couple runs, but Jacob Gonzalez, and I'll be honest with you, man, obviously a lot was said, including, and you know how fans can be by even Ole Miss fans, about how Gonzalez's struggles, but he comes through in the clutch in the end, and y'all become the kings of Omaha, man. So first of all, I just want to talk about, you talked about the dips that you guys had and how you guys wrote it out with that veteran leadership. But to see a guy like Gonzalez, that we all know how good he is, if you know anything about baseball, the guy's a stud, going through some struggles, but to see him personally get that moment, how much did that mean to you guys as a team?
Well, yeah, I mean, he did so much for us throughout the year. I think he had close to 20 bumps or something like that. So, I mean, he did so much for us throughout the year, and baseball is a game where you're going to struggle no matter what you do. So, none of us were worried about it. I'm sure. Yeah. Like you said, the fans were talking about it, and the fans were like, what's wrong with them, stuff like that. But I mean, just like I said, every time he went up to the plate, no matter if he was struggling or if he wasn't, we had confidence in him. And when he hit the home run, nobody was surprised. We were like, let's go. This is our time. But yeah, it's super awesome. He's the nicest guy in the world. I don't know if any of you have ever talked to him or anything, but nicest guy in the world. So it's cool for him to have moments like that.
Yeah, no doubt. So we titled this episode, Just Wait, because your dad was told that Ole Miss has never won a title, and he said, Hunter isn't there yet, just wait. Well, Hunter, you did arrive, and your teammates did arrive, and obviously you guys came out on top, so congrats to not only you, but obviously to Ole Miss, Coach B. I mean, that's such a huge thing for him. People were questioning whether the guy could coach, and those people are idiots, but that's neither here nor there. Right, so you're kings of college, obviously, and then to win, obviously your bitter rivals win it the year before, so to come back and get it, the state of Mississippi, and you've mentioned it before, how deep it is in talent, but I mean, y'all are on the top of the college baseball world, man.
Yeah, right. I think actually that the just wait little thing was it's with a former player. from Mississippi State that's in minor league ball right now, and he, just like we do every time we talk to him, it's back and forth about Ole Miss, Mississippi State every time. And every time he brings up oh man, are y'all ever going to beat us in the series? And, oh, we've been to Omaha this many times, this or that, whatever. And so we were just like, just wait. Ole Miss is going to do it. I'm about to be there. So I'm going to have a little say so in it. So yeah, that's funny. But yeah, I mean, the state of Mississippi, man, better watch out. Southern Miss, you never know. They're a solid team too.
We've brought that up
we'll
here,
see.
man.
No,
They're
I hate
solid.
to tell you, Hunter, and I hate, for the audience that's listening, they get mad. Me and Randy's saying Tennessee, I'm saying LSU. It ain't Southern Miss, brother.
Okay. I'm not saying Tennessee or LSU either. I think
He's
we're
saying
going
Ole
with the
Miss.
Rebs.
Well, of course
Yeah,
he's not going to say it. Who's
Don't let the
Daniel,
Rebs
you
get
talking
hot
about?
again.
Daniel, you're on the
Yeah.
spot right now. Who you calling?
You're the
Yeah, who we
champ.
got?
You're the champs until somebody beats you, man. So
Thank you very much. You're a wise guy. I think the Rebs are going back to back.
You know what? They very well could. You know what? None of us on the show will be mad about that, Hunter.
No,
But look, man,
yeah.
you guys, I just got a question for you. Maybe you don't know. Maybe you know. Maybe you don't. DeLucia was on here, and he was pretty upset, man. He did not have his MOP award. Does anybody know if he ever got it?
Yeah, his MOP award.
The most outstanding player award. He on the show, he said, NCAA, mail me my award.
Yeah, no, I have no clue if he got it.
Man, you're going to have to check in on that and let us know, Hunter, man.
Yeah, I might have to. I would probably be a little livid on that too.
Yeah, he wasn't happy. But look, man, so I'm gonna get back into you for a second. You got a short break, man. Right after you guys are obviously crowned the champs, you, Gonzo, and Coach B, y'all all headed to play for Team USA. And so did you get some extra time with Coach B since you're playing on Team USA to just kind of reflect on it all and what not only you had done, but he had done, what the team had done?
Maybe a little bit. He was obviously super busy with everything he had to do managing, and from Cary, he had to pick a whole team to go over there. I think out of like 40 or something, he had to pick 26 to go over to the Netherlands. So he was busy. It wasn't much just sitting around chit chatting. But I mean, yeah, I think the day we had the parade, we all loaded up and went on the plane and went to Cary. So we didn't have much time to sit in Oxford and reflect on what we done. We had something else to do. But yeah, I wouldn't have traded either of those experiences for anything in the world.
Yeah, so no doubt. So obviously Team USA, you get to represent the red, white, and the blue in the Netherlands. Talk to me, first of all,
Yeah.
how nice is it over there?
Yeah, it was beautiful, man. I'd actually never been out of the country. I've been on like a cruise, I guess Mexico.
Is it really out of the country? I don't know.
Yeah, kind of. That's what I'm thinking. So I'd never really been out of the country. So it was really cool. It was a little bit of a culture shock, a little different, but I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy having to ask for ice in my water as much, but I enjoyed the scenery and just beautiful weather and just different baseball. It was cool.
Yeah, so I mean, obviously, you guys, you come up a little bit short. You don't win the gold, but you take the bronze. But how was the experience getting to play with the best baseball players? You talked about how cool it was, but getting to play with some of the best around the country and getting to represent your country, especially after just winning a title. I mean, have you had a chance since then to reflect on everything you've experienced over the past 4 or 5 months?
Not necessarily. I guess I don't really do a ton of reflecting. I'm more of like looking ahead type guy, trying to see what the Rebs are going to do, like I said, to win another national championship. But yeah, I mean, obviously it's super blessed to have that opportunity to represent USA. That's been one of my goals forever. Always growing up through 13, 14, 15, trying to represent the 18U team. I'd always wanted to represent USA and wear that across my chest. So it was a real big honor to do that and to play against some of the best competition across the world.
So Daniel, before you play this or that, I got a question for Hunter, because you guys know that unanimously we've had one answer to this question, and I'm curious if it still sticks because this is a new Team USA team. Hunter, on the spot, every guy's answered this, even teammates of yours, because you asked about Gonzalez. Gonzalez has actually been on here before, and he answered this question. Who was the best player you played with on Team USA?
Man, that one's tricky. I think maybe some of the best players didn't have the best weeks. I I know who you're thinking, which obviously that's kind of an obvious, but
It was the unanimous answer.
are you
Everybody has said it across the board.
are you are you going for like who had the best week there, who I thought was the best, or just best player potential wise that I thought there?
Potential wise.
Yeah, I mean it's obvious. It's him, Dylan Cruz for sure.
I just wanted to hear it because the LSU guy and
Yeah.
everybody said it.
Yeah.
No, who had
I
the best
mean-
week though? Tell me who had the best week.
Well, we didn't do a ton hitting wise over there. Yohandy Morales from Miami had a solid week. I think he had a couple jacks. Kyle Teal, catcher from Virginia, man, he's gritty. He was a lot of fun to throw to and just a lot of fun to be on the team with. He was really good, very energetic, really passionate about the game. And he grounded out at bats and stuff like that. He was a really solid player. Jacob Wilson from Grand Canyon, really good. Probably not talked about as much as he should be. He's really solid. But man, over there, it was just everybody there was incredible. The guys on the bench.
I didn't hear Maui mention one time.
So
He
Hunter,
was the one getting in a fight over there, man. Well, had to be some fireworks, right?
Yeah, my man Maui was solid. He was a solid shortstop, solid hitter. I mean, it's hard to say all the names over there. I mean, the dudes that were on the bench at sometimes were all Americans.
so Hunter, man, before we play this game, you got to tell me you reached the top of the mountain, and it would be easy to say you're going to do it again, but the reality is you're going to have to get better. The team's going to have to get better. So I'll ask you really the same question, but two different pieces that I'm looking for. What do you got to do for Ole Miss to win it all again, and what does the team have to do to win it all again?
Yeah, I've got to improve. I think one of my biggest things is trying to go deeper into games to conserve bullpens a little bit. So I've got to improve on that, I mean, man, there's so much stuff I want to improve on. Want to improve on my command, want to improve on my velocity, things like that. Just being a better all-around pitcher. And one of my biggest things I'm trying to improve on right now is just having a better slider, a wipeout slider that I can put guys away with. And as a team, man, we're just going to have to not be complacent, really not to, I mean, we're going to have some award ceremonies, things like that. I mean, it's real getting caught up in last year and just going through the motions the next year after winning a championship. But just, I think we got to have that one goal, and it's to win another national championship, and only be have our eyes set on that is going to be the biggest thing for us.
And Daniel, I think it's a fair question because, the Mississippi State guys came on here after winning their title and said they were going to do it again. And then they didn't even reach, postseason play. So,
yeah,
I mean,
it's a real thing.
It's very hard. Like people, I think, underestimate how difficult it is to actually make a regional, make a super regional, make a run and get into Omaha, much less put together, a good solid, performance in Omaha and give yourself a chance to win it all. But to do all of that over again, like that, it's extremely difficult. But the good news is, man, is you're in a place where that is the expectation. So,
Right.
Well,
and it's been done before, so
Yep.
so I don't see why not.
Absolutely. Well, Hunter, man, you've played the game, you've done this or that, but this is version 2.0 for you. So you down to play again?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So just a reminder, I'm going to give you two options. You got to pick one or the other. Can't say both, can't say neither. Just be decisive and pick whatever comes to your mind first.
Okay,
all right.
Let's do it.
What's more iconic, the Tim Elko stash or the Hunter Elliott hair flow?
Oh, the Hunter Elliott airflow.
Yeah.
Come on.
You got to bet on yourself, right?
I agree.
Yeah. No one else gonna bet on you. You got to bet on yourself.
That's right. Are you an action movie or a comedy guy?
Oh God. I'll go with action. Recently I've been watching a lot of action, but man, I love some comedy.
What's your favorite movie of all time? It doesn't have to be action or comedy. What's your favorite movie?
I'll go with. Let's go with. I may be kind of weird, but Blindside. I love the story, and it's got to do with Ole Miss. So let's go with the Blind Side.
All right. All right. Roller coasters or water slides?
Roller coasters for sure. The thrill of it.
Would you rather lose sleep or miss a meal?
Miss a meal. I'm a huge sleeper.
How many hours do you think if you were uninterrupted and you were tired, not overly tired, but if you just slept, how long do you think you could just sleep uninterrupted?
With nothing to do the next day, nothing in your head.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
man. 11, 12 hours.
Dang.
I'm
Yeah.
jealous, man. I can't go past like 7.
What's
Yeah.
your number, DB?
Yeah.
I think I could hit 15 solid. I think I could sleep. I think if I had the opportunity to sleep and there was nothing preventing me, from sleeping or having to wake up the next day, I think I could go a solid 15.
I'm gonna tell you right now, all of y'all.
Yeah.
I can probably go 5 tops.
See, I feel you, and I'm just a little bit longer. I don't know how Daniel can sleep 15 hours. Like,
I think it's because I get limited sleep during the week. So, like, if I had the opportunity to sleep, I'd take advantage of it for sure. Hunter, would you rather go to the
Yeah, same here.
yeah? Would you rather go to the lake or the beach?
I would rather go to the lake. I don't like being sandy all the time and having to always clean off and just it seems like you never get the sand off of you. And
Yeah.
I'm not really a big beach guy, which may be a little weird.
It's an event to go to the beach.
Wait till
But-
you have kids. You'll really hate
Yeah.
it then.
Yep.
Yeah, yeah, I bet.
Them little monsters tracking sand everywhere and then putting it in your bed. Man, it's just bad, bad all the way around.
Yeah, I hear you. I understand.
What are you looking forward to most this year? Playing at Vandy or playing at Mississippi State?
Mississippi State, 100%. I've heard the atmosphere is electric. Want to go in there and sweep them boys.
What would you rather attend, a concert or a sporting event?
Sporting event. I'm not really huge on music. I'm kind of weird. I mean, don't like the beach. Not a huge music guy, but I'm all right with being weird.
So if you get in your car, it's just silence. You're
Yeah,
not listening to
actually-
anything.
Yeah, actually, I think I had a conversation with somebody the other day. It's like I mean, I don't know. I don't listen to anything. I guess I sit there and think, or maybe I just look around, don't think about anything.
the windows are down and his hair is flowing. That's one thing that's
Yeah.
going on.
Of course.
Yeah,
of course.
no doubt, no doubt.
What sporting event, since you picked sporting events, what sporting event is on your bucket list? What's the one that you gotta attend before you get off this earth?
I would have to say World Series game. Super passionate about baseball. I've never been to a World Series game. I've been to a ALDS before or ALCS before actually. So and that was just electric and there's not much better than postseason baseball.
Who's playing in this World Series if you can pick the teams?
Oh man. That's a tough one. It's hard to count out the Braves. I'm gonna go with Dodgers and
Boo.
Wrong.
fine. That's fine. I don't think it's the Cardinals. I mean, I like the shirt and all, but I'm not like a super big Cards fan.
We're all Cardinals fans. You should have just stayed with it.
No, man, I'm sorry. I don't think they got it. Maybe they have a magical run. You never know. Yachty and Pujols last year.
We've
magical
seen
run.
teams go on a magical run, Hunter.
That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not-
I'm not opposed to magical runs. Let's go. Oh, it would be class. It would be classic. Dodgers Yankees. That's who I'm gonna go. I think the Yanks are about to get hot.
Wow. Very
And I got-
very creative answer, Hunter.
I mean, that's fairly creative. When's the last time the Dodgers and Yankees have met in the World Series?
I mean, he ain't wrong.
No.
Well, they would have if the Astros didn't cheat. I mean,
Yeah. Eh.
Yeah, I'm not gonna ever say the Astros.
All right. You partially redeemed yourself with that answer. I like it.
Okay, good.
All right.
good.
Last question, man, before we let you bounce. would you rather have massive success by accident or modest success on purpose?
I'm gonna go with massive success by accident. I want to have as much success as possible. I mean, if it's by accident or not, who cares, right? Nobody else knows it's by accident.
Thank you. You're the smartest person we've had on the show so far.
Who wants modest success? That doesn't even make sense.
Everybody that's came on before you.
Let me tell you how I break it down too. And they say, "Oh, I'd rather earn it or something like that." So I say, "Okay, if I was to give you $100 million, give it to you scot free, or you could earn 20 million." And then everybody's like, "Well, I want to earn my 20 million." And I'm like, "Okay, well now I got 80 more million dollars than you because you had pride." No,
Yeah, no,
give me the stacks, cuz.
Right,
Yep.
my pride's not gonna get in the way. I just want to be successful, right? I mean, cool for working for modest success, but I don't want to be a modest successful person.
I love it.
No, now that you got a championship under your belt, you can't. It ain't modest success anymore. It's all about the
Nah.
massive success.
No doubt, it wasn't about the modest success before.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Hunter, man, anything you want to plug or promote before you get out of here?
No, I think I'm all good. No promotions.
Well, I got your back, because if you want to follow Hunter, you want to see what he's got going on in his day-to-day life, go on over to Instagram, type in Elliott Hunter 1010, and you'll get a full day of him. You'll get to see him on the baseball field, out in public doing his thing. But if you just want to track him and Ole Miss baseball at Ole Miss BSB, you'll see everything Ole Miss baseball, and you might even see, maybe, just maybe, another national championship run. Hunter, my man, please come back in the spring. Let's talk, let's recap, and then hopefully we can get you guys back to Omaha again. And, who knows what happens when you get there.
That's right. It's a magical place. Yeah, let's do it. I appreciate the shout outs and everything like that. So let's do it.
Absolutely. That is Hunter Elliott, everybody. We are going to take a break. We're going to plug some sponsors. When we come back, we got a lot of baseball, college football, NFL to break down and recap.